Wes, it's always great to have you in the guest chair. Sean, welcome to the Tonight Show. I'm happy that you're here. You wrote The Rhythm of Time together right here. Congratulations. It is officially a New York Times bestseller. Congrats!
Thank you.
Congrats on that.
Appreciate it.
Sean, your other best-selling book, Razorblade Tears, by the way, was also featured on our show. It was on the Fallon Summer Read list, but also Barack Obama's summer reading list.
Yeah.
And it's being made into a movie produced by Jerry Bruckheimer.
Yeah, which is terrifying.
I mean, have you processed all this?
Not at all. Not a bit, no. It's like 5 years ago, I was working at a hardware store, cleaning up spills, and now the president knows my name. So.
Yeah, exactly. What's up? That's what it's all about.
Which is crazy, because the book, you know, it's like having him read it. It's sort of like your mom reading it, too, because it's like, just pass over the curse words, this terrible stuff.
No, I mean, I'm much more polite than this, Mr. President.
Yeah, exactly.
You crush it. And did you guys know each other before doing work?
Actually, you know what? I became aware of him because I'd follow your summer reading list. Assuming that you're going to do one this year, but
yeah, I'm going to do one this year, absolutely. Yeah.
So.
Well, maybe we'll have The Rhythm of Time on the.
Hey,
I'm just saying.
Just saying. You guys have you've both written books together. I mean, not together, but separately. But never a kid's book.
Yeah.
But how did this all start?
basically, you know, during the pandemic, I was quarantining on a farm, and
yeah, I know.
Without a farm without cable. So, you know, there was nothing to do, only online DJing. Like, we had Wi-Fi, but I was basically out of my comfort zone. And once I realized, like...
Because you need something to do.
Yeah, I just need something to do. And I have to do something creative. And so I guess at the time when I was online DJing and working on Summer of Soul and then doing the other book, Music is History, the people I was staying with, they're a bunch of life coaches, and they were like, yo, you're writing another boring history book about music? Like, do something else. And so they kind of challenged me. I always wanted to write a time travel book, but I'm a nerd that really doesn't know much like science fiction jargon, so I always talked myself out of it. And I guess like my publisher made a play date with us.
Yeah.
And so.
That kind of works. What time travel stuff are you into? What do you mean you're into time travel?
I love time travel. Remember I told you I watched like Palm Springs like at least 10 times over the pandemic, and you know,
Back to the Future.
Yeah, all
that Back to the Future talks. Yeah. So you're like, okay, I'm gonna write this book. I'll see if I can get S.A. Cosby to work. Do you want to work in the city? Did you think about it and go like?
Well, it was funny because when they contacted me, it was like, you sure you want me to write a kid's book? Because I write crime novels. Usually people getting shot in the face in my books. It's like
crazier stuff than that.
I don't know if I'm the perfect person to write a kid's novel.
I wouldn't say you're my first choice.
Yeah.
You're not Dr. Seuss.
No, unless Dr. Seuss hitting people with shovels upside the head. But once we started talking about it, it was like, wow, you know, you get the opportunity to work with Questlove. First of all, I'm an old hip-hop head from back in the day, so you get to work with the Roots, you know, things fall apart, you know, and do you want more? And it's like, so when they call you, it's like, yeah, Questlove wants to write a book with you. And I'm like, yeah, all right, whatever. What do I gotta do? Where I gotta show up? Yeah, you know. So.
And how did you choose for it to be for middle school kids?
All right, so when our fourth album came out, Things Fall Apart, a friend of mine who was a teacher, like, convinced me, like, you know, come and talk to the kids. And I was like, all right, we have enough notoriety. Like, I'll come to the school, like, hey, kids, how you doing? And basically, the first question the kids asked, like, during Q&A time, like, anybody have any questions? They were like, one kid stood up and was like, yeah, do you know, like, a real celebrity like Andre 3000?
Like, you're not a real celebrity? Yeah. Do you know a real celebrity?
Yeah, and so inside I was just like, from kids. So
kids are harsh, man.
Yeah, so I was just like, all right, let me just stay away from kids. Like, so that kind of discouraged me from, that was like such a humiliating moment that I let that sit with me forever.
Yeah.
You know, I think the pandemic is about, you know, we're either going to pivot or we're going to panic. And so pretty much I decided like to make a list of everything that I had a fear of and just one by one, just rewrite the narrative. So I always wanted to write a kid's book.
Yeah.
And plus I got tired of you writing on the kids' book. Every time I turn around, you're in the New York Times bestseller stuff.
So now you gotta be.
Every time you do it like that, I was like, I gotta get it.
Come on.
Right.
It's a great story. and it's well written, and you are on the New York Times bestseller list. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Which is wow. It's like, I never thought I'd be on the New York Times bestseller list at all, and then to be on it twice. It's like somebody got to pinch me, wake me up.
Yeah, come on, bud. But I mean, it's a whole new generation of. Now you got this is the toughest audience. You got.
They are.
They're honest with you. If they don't like it, they don't like it.
I went to talk to some kids a couple weeks ago at a middle school, and it was like the first 5-10 minutes, it's terrifying. It's just like you're staring at them, they're staring at you. It's like somebody blink first.
Yeah.
Somebody do something. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think what has to happen now is you have to write a sequel.
Well, they're already.
That's what happens when you're successful.
See, I thought in the pandemic it was going to be a one and done thing, and a lot of this book borrows heavy from my life. So, remember when you told me the first week of the show, like everything that you said Letterman told you, like everything that was ever in your life, you're going to use for this show. Yeah. Like I gave everything for this one book, and then they're like, you got to write 2 more. So now we're talking about the second book.
Now you got to get real creative. Yeah,
right. Working on it. We're gonna dig up some stuff.
It's so fun, and it's very you because I know you. Yeah. And it's very well done. Congratulations to both of you, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Questlove, S.A. Cosby, everybody. The Rhythm of Time is out now. More Tonight Show after the break. Stick around, everybody.